Hey, welcome back to Piano Barbarians. I am your host, Paul Seiz. My guest today is Hannah. Hannah is the owner and entertainment director of Hammer's Dueling Piano Bar in Westport, Kansas City. This is a very, very wonderful, fun place, and it's amazing to see it under Hannah's stewardship. So, without any further ado, here's my conversation with Hannah. Red straw?
Yep.
It's astounding to me how many people will change the name of Red Beat Entertainment to Red Dirt, Red Feet, Red Rat.
Red Rat?
Red Rat Entertainment. It's incredible.
Is that a common one? Or it has just like one person done that?
No, I think one Red Rat.
Okay. That was just... Some of the other ones are a little bit maybe more understandable, but
Yeah.
Red Rat.
Yeah.
Huh.
Red Dirt happened in southern Kansas. That didn't really surprise me.
That's not a huge...
Almost to a point where it's like...
I'm just going to start calling it Red Meat.
Red
Get a good steak.
Red Meat Entertainment might be a... Put that on backwards. Okay. First thing we do is the musical handshake, which is making sure that the keyboards work like I can only play that lick on one octave of the bass guitar.
Same.
I try to put it on a different instrument in any other octave. I just completely fall apart.
Yep.
And you might be able to do that with your knuckles. That's so good.
That's one of the few things that I don't play with my knuckles. I can... Big knuckle.
Actually, hold on.
Knuckle player.
That would be a oh, you're doing a chord.
I usually will turn under my middle finger or my index finger. And that's not usually more than one knuckle at a time.
Wait, hold on. Show me. What do you mean? You put your...
So if I'm playing like a triad, I'll turn my middle knuckle.
What?
Yeah. Have I told you about my knuckle playing before?
No.
Oh my gosh.
What do you mean? Show me.
I thought that's what we were referring to. So when I very first started dueling pianos, I'm not a trained pianist.
Yeah.
And so I was learning a new instrument essentially, and learning how to sing and play it at the same time. And there was just I was not used to sucking at performing, and there was just a lot of nerves involved.
All right.
On top of that, I've always been a nail biter. Still am. Don't love that. But it's kind of a nervous thing. So I just had a lot of anxiety going on, and I bit my nails down so far that it would like hurt. They would be past
your fingertips.
My
would
fingertips.
Hurt
So
to play.
while I was practicing, it hurt to play on my fingertips. So I just kind of turn my knuckles, turn it under, and end up playing with some knuckles. And so I literally play with my knuckles. I learned a lot of my first songs playing with my knuckles, and that's just a weird
it's the
technique.
The thumb knuckle is what's kind of insane to me. I can get my right... If I use my right thumb, I can kind of get some knuckling. Oh God, I love that.
You mean like on the knuckle or just
no?
the side?
I can't use my thumb knuckle, but
Gotcha,
I'm knuckling mostly with this one. Like I think I use it.
Yeah.
So
the thumb was never a problem. I still bit that nail, but it's you use the side of your thumb. I use the side of my thumb.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. I had a conversation with someone who's learning about learning the instrument and learning how to play bass lines on the piano.
Uh-huh.
And we got into this interesting discussion, something I didn't really think about, which is the fatigue of this motion versus this motion.
Mm-hmm.
I never really thought about that, because I'm really used to doing this, like.
Same, and I'm always in octaves, always.
Right, but there's this. which is a twisting motion like this instead of this. And I was like, oh, that's actually activating a different part of your muscles entirely.
Yeah,
Like
there's a couple of songs that I'll kind of I use that motion with that, and it's the same because I don't do it often. And
Yeah.
so, but yeah, when I do, and it
oh well, it's
halfway through the song, I'm feeling it.
it's when I do boogie woogie like a.
Yeah. I don't do boogie woogie.
I wimp out. I will
That's
start.
a little too advanced.
No,
for
I
me.
will. What I'm saying is, I will start. It's gonna start. That's how it starts.
Yep.
then it's like probably that for like the.
It morphs into it. We're gonna do a little more right hand accents on for the rest of this song.
Actually, like I can't. But I've never thought about like, do I need to like work up stamina so I can actually do a boogie woogie like completely through all the way through a song, or for like 90 minutes? I don't know.
Oh my gosh. I mean, yeah, it
just-
would be an
it's-
endurance
it's
thing
just an
just to work
endurance
on
thing?
it. I would assume.
I don't know.
I doubt you're doing it incorrectly. Just
I'm sure we could find somebody to come tell me I'm doing it.
I mean, if you want me to, I'll do it.
Hey,
There's a lot of things I do incorrectly on the piano.
up for a good story, a recent, unusual, or humorous story related to your music career. Up for a good story. What went down recently?
Let's see. Oh my gosh, I should have thought ahead on this one a little bit. Well, I just had a memory pop up in my phone photos, whatever. That I don't often take pictures of the request slips. A lot of piano players do, because we get a lot of funny ones.
Yeah.
A lot of silly, wrong artist or weird spellings, and this one in particular, there was a whole like 4 or 5 of them that this guy brought up at one time, and each one of them had $5 or $10 on them.
That's pretty
so
good.
it was nice. But every song was depressing as hell, and it was in like the peak part of a Saturday night, a room full of people, and there's a high energy and not a great place to throw in a ballad, especially a particularly depressing ballad.
Okay.
And he just gave me a list of them, a whole bunch of them separately. And on each one of the request slips under the comments section, it said, just started going through a divorce. What did he say? It's like, just started a divorce process, feeling pretty down. And that was it. And it was just the saddest songs in the world. Like,
okay. I go through this
like,
too, because it's not uncommon that someone will they'll write very specifically, my dad just died.
Mm-hmm.
Please play this. And
this was his song, or this was our thing.
Or we're here tonight remembering this person. And I've got to be honest with you, I find this so inappropriate.
It's hard.
Just the idea that you're going to have an idea, and because I've seen this go really sideways, because someone asked me I was in Boise, Idaho. Did you ever play that place in Boise?
Was it
Brick Yard?
Brick house? Brick heart?
Brick Heart.
There's a brick rat?
It was Red Brick Entertainment.
Red brick rat meat.
And a similar position to you, that home dude asked for Dust in the Wind. And I didn't have a lot of requests, but like things were starting to we're starting to accelerate the pace a little bit. It's like we hadn't really like gotten to a rockin' point of the night, but it was a point of the night where I felt comfortable addressing the request and kind of saying, hey, my thought pattern was I suck at this Dust in the Wind song, so I would like to like change it out for something maybe more high energy. And a young man down front at a table got pretty like intense about it. Yeah. And his phrase was, "You don't know it? You just kept yelling, "You don't know it?"
That's always your favorite.
And then but also I scanned everybody else at the table, and they kind of went like they were all in hell.
Yes.
Suddenly.
Yeah.
And
they were being held captive.
Well, we got a break from the show, and I went and talked over the table, and he had cooled down a little bit later. But somebody else at the table said he just lost his dad. That's one of his dads. songs. And when people are going through grief, they process stuff in different ways, and they're still moving through the world. They're still encountering other people.
It's hard to acknowledge the comfort level of other people, though, whenever you're going through something like that.
It's very strange.
And for a lot of people, it is.
Yeah.
I found some really good. As a lot of different energy calls that we do, as with dueling pianos, you kind of have to read the room. And in every crowd, every room is going to be completely different. So you got to read the energy. But I have had a few times where it's gone a little sideways like that, where somebody gets overly offended that you're not doing their thing right now, or if you don't know it well enough and I can't do this justice, whatever. But I've had a lot of times too where there's a specific note on the request that says, "Hey, we're here celebrating so and so's life," or "I just lost my blah blah blah," then I will do my best to play whatever song it is. Ideally, inserting it somewhere where it's not going to shift the energy too terribly bad. But I'll try to shout out the person or shout out the situation without bringing the whole room down.
Yep.
And so that's, you kind of get a little crafty with that sometimes. But then I've gotten more than a handful of times people will come up later or write a note and leave it on the piano as they're leaving and say, "Hey, that was really meaningful to me for XYZ.
Yeah.
And, thank you for doing that. That would have, that means the world to me for whatever reason."
Yeah.
So it becomes rewarding. And if you can sort of navigate it to where it doesn't totally bum everybody out who's there to just get tipsy and have a good time and, sing Dancing Queen at the top of their lungs, whatever.
Yeah.
You can, there's always places you can kind of insert a ballad, and if it happens to be a ballad, and just say, "Hey, this goes out to Stephanie, going through something, let's do this." And then
my line is, if I know the person's name who passed, I say, "This goes out to Steve, who couldn't be here tonight. 1, 2, ready, go."
And then you do this for a while. And then you do something boogie woogie.
"I won't give up on you, Steve. This is for Steve."
You're my boy, Steve.
That's inappropriate.
That's terrible. But yeah, no. Anyway, that was just.
You gave me an idea,
that's not a super funny story, but I've probably got something funnier.
What we need is a separate room in the piano bar that just has one piano in it and like 4 chairs.
Yeah.
It's like soundproof. Like
a quiet room in a church, like a breastfeeding room or something. But it's
for people who are like going through some shit.
And
you're like, "Hey, I see that you've asked for Dust in the Wind. Go ahead, and we're going to have you go ahead to Sherry."
Yeah.
In there, and she's going to play that for you. And then you go.
Have a moment.
And like Sherry's
it's like
there.
candlelit,
It's like just a couple of chairs. And it's like totally. I think we're onto something here.
It's not the worst idea I've heard. I've definitely heard worse.
What if that starts outperforming the main room, though? What if that's like...
Yeah. Like everyone's in the grief room right now. Oh, my gosh.
But Sherry's killing it.
Because Sherry's raking it in. People are so appreciative. They're tipping the crap out of her.
Oh, my God. That's really...
I want to meet this hypothetical Sherry now too.
It could be us. We could go through some training. I don't know. Just okay. Best seat is on stage. Dive into what makes, and this can be about hammers or it can be about anywhere. But if it's about hammers, great.
Sure.
Because I think this does apply to hammers. Dive into what makes a certain music venue special. Explore what the vibes are. Subtle details that might go unnoticed by someone who hasn't performed there.
I will talk about hammers because it's my business. B,
Yeah.
I spend all of my time there.
Yeah.
The last year and a half or more. It is, I am so enamored with our lighting situation.
All right.
Steve Lunsford of Oklahoma City suggested when we were planning the build out and all, the lighting and sound situation that we use a stream deck to control the lighting as a MIDI controller. And most piano bars, if you have control over it, it's a keyboard that's on top of the piano or whatever, which is great. And it can be, but most of the time, whatever light scene is on there is kind of labeled. And if you're in the middle of doing a song and you're not super familiar with that, whatever the pattern is on this, then it's a little hard to effectively do the lights the way you know.
It's not natural if you haven't done it.
Exactly. And you kind of, if you want to play one room a whole lot to try to get, almost memorize the board so you can get more easier to do it. But the Stream Deck is, you can program every single button to have whatever. You can even have moving images on them, which is crazy. And so enter Chris Porcelli, who later on designed the layout and programmed our actual lighting system. He programmed everything to where you hit a button and it looks like the thing that the lights are going to do. And it's so freaking cool.
Yeah.
And there's just, there's 10, each page has 15 usable buttons. I think something like that. And there's 10 pages of that. So you can scroll through and there's just so many different options. And that is a really unique thing. I've never been to another piano bar that uses that particular controller for lighting. And a lot of piano bars don't put a lot of emphasis and importance on different lighting, which is fine. I don't think it's mandatory or not, it doesn't have to happen, but I think it kind of puts it over the edge if you've got it, it can be a really effective additional tool to whatever you're doing.
Almost another instrument, really.
Impactful.
My favorite moments, isn't it great when you can just feel like in a dueling piano show or any theatrical experience where the thing that you're doing is just like coasting along, and a good light show and one of Hammers will do that, where if you've got really smart players who are changing a light cue to like introduce the next piece, or even minutely as like the next portion of the song. Like this is now changing. You kind of feel like this. It's like a hand. Well, it's interesting of when a dueling show is going well and you have two players that are just like nicely just like handing things off, and then the lights can also like kind of correspond to that as well. So you a lot of things are happening. You get the cues such as like that the song is over while somebody else is going across from you, right? But then to also have like the lights kind of like love that.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Love that.
And for the same sort of thinking, additionally, there's each of the lighting pages of lighting scenes that we have on these Stream Decks is there's a snap version and a fade version, to where you can hit the button and it slowly fades into the next scene, or if it snaps, it's just immediately what it's going to be. And on top of that, there's a fog machine. That's so cool.
Huge difference.
And so you can, get a good the use of it right during a big heavy part of the song is great, because it's loud and you get that sound. Yeah. But also you could get a decent haze in the whole room. Yeah. And the lights that are in there travel through that haze and just pop so better. Much. It looks so good. And so you can hit, you can be on a monocolor and then just hit something that's got lasers on a really big, impactful part of a song, and it explodes. And I love it whenever I can hear the audience go, ooh. Just a subtle little, ooh.
Do you think there's something subliminal about there's something so beautiful, and you and I have like worked in theater and arts long enough that we're used to this, but maybe we take it for granted. Of you've got a series of lights that are above you, and they're on, and the haze is moving through them, and you just get a sense of like light being shown down on something, and it almost like starts to frame I think the word is proscenium, and it sends a message to like, this is something to see. Look at this. Bring your attention to this. Yeah.
100%.
It's really effective.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's great. Okay. The Keith Jarrett Colin Award for Best Gig on a Crappy Instrument. Keith Jarrett was on tour in Germany and was booked to play a show, and came to the piano to warm up, and it was a total piece of crap. 5,000 piano is out of tune, broken keys, and he was basically like, I'm not performing on this, but the people at the Cone venue were like, we don't have another piano, Keith Jarrett, like, please, like, kind of begged him to play. And then that performance on that instrument is regarded as one of his best performances because he had to concentrate so hard on overcoming the limitations of the instrument. Did you overcome an instrument limitation once and actually made it more impactful and a better performance?
In a way.
Doesn't have to be piano. It could be a violin thing.
Yeah. So, oddly enough, in Germany, I was on tour with we did a little mini 2-week 10-show tour with my band in the Pines that was in the 2000s.
2000s.
Really weird to say that. Oh my gosh, one of our shows. So it was me and Laurel Morgan and Aaron White at the time. And Aaron and I switched back and forth show to show playing viola. There's reasons for that, but Laurel, at one of our shows, I can't even remember which city we were in, we had done our sound check and then left our instruments on stage, and the opening band was doing their sound check at that point, and we were back in the green room, and we could just kind of hear noise and whatever. We were minding our business, eating sandwiches or something, and
Wiener Schnitzel?
Yeah, there might have been a Wiener Schnitzel involved. And everything kind of went quiet in the hall and didn't really think much of it. But then somebody came into the green room, just looked like they had seen a ghost, white-faced, green-faced. And they're like, somebody's violin just got broken.
Oh.
And
just got broken?
Yeah.
Passive
Basically, that's what was said in that moment. And Laurel's was the only one that was still on the stage. Erin had brought her instrument backstage with her. And so, of course, she ran out there, and it had been fully stomped on, mutilated. It was an accident, but it was devastating. And it was
irreparable.
Irreparable. Many, many pieces. Yeah. And it was, that was at least $20,000 instrument. At least. So and it was, it's clearly special. It's something that she had grown with as a violinist. And oh my gosh. So, and I am the one who ended up having to
gather the pieces,
deal with the body. It felt like that. It was so morbid. It was awful. And I mean, my stomach was turning.
What did you put it in?
Her violin case.
Okay.
But I had to, pick up the pieces.
No, I'm picturing you
deal
like
with the carcass.
And
I know. I didn't have a body bag, unfortunately. But for insurance purposes, I had to take all the photos of it before anybody touched the evidence.
You did? Was there?
It was so awful. It was so awful. It was one of the worst moments. And for poor Laurel, she recovered eventually really well. But oh my gosh! So during that, because we had to, we ended up borrowing like our label manager's mother's crappy violin that had been left in the attic by a previous homeowner or something, one of those things. And it was
just around, or you had to ship there? I
mean, there was the easiest, the closest violin we could find
in Germany.
Among so quickly and among the circle that we were in.
Oh wow!
For somebody to trust to have their instrument on the road on a tour with a 7-person band that they don't know, and I'm not just gonna loan out my violin to anybody.
Joe Schmo.
Yeah. So anyway, that being Laurel and Aaron and I all sort of traded around the crappy violin, and we were so thankful that we had something to play on. But to lighten the load a little bit, we kind of played. It was wild,
like a cheap violin.
It was terrible. It was really terrible. But just we were thankful that we had something. That's a story.
That's cool. You took turns with it.
Yeah, we were trying to do what we could to help Laurel not be so devastated. I mean, it was like handling a dead body. It was really rough. It was really, really rough.
Oh, Music Theory Nerd Corner. Your chance to expound on an aspect of musical theory that you particularly admire. Can be a simple concept or a complex idea.
Oh my gosh. So, growing up as a violinist, I never really thought about music theory much. Mm-hmm. But I was raised learning the Suzuki method, which is
me too.
All by ear, mostly all by ear. So there was almost zero emphasis on music theory. It was all ear training stuff. So when I went to college, of course, and in music school, you have to have that's a big requirement. That's the math of music. You have to learn that math. So, but at UMKC at the time. I think it's this way in a lot of music programs, but you learn, you have an ear training class and a theory class, and they kind of coincide. You go through them at the same time, levels, whatever semesters you're in. Mm-hmm. The ear training side, I was a whiz. It was fine. I grew up singing solfege for everything that was in my public school system. Okay. And I grew up in an opera company, and I grew up in a Church of Christ where there's no instruments. It's all 4-part harmony. Okay. So, I mean, I was harmonizing and singing and, sight reading things in solfege when I was too young to know what that meant. Nice. It was very cool. It's not super common. But then, and that's the method for sight reading that's used, and a lot of singers were not. They had to struggle on that end to learn that side of things. Right. But then, the theory side of it was slower. I was a little slower on the uptake. Yeah. So that being said, a lot of basic stuff, but I sort of gained a bigger appreciation for basic theory in general once I started learning the piano for this gig. And just to basically be able to read chord charts and that I'm like, I know what a 7 chord is or a 9 chord, and that it just very simple basic stuff. Yeah. But I've gained a huge, I've been doing this for 18 years now, but it really that I sort of started incorporating that language into the way I perceive playing piano a lot more.
What was fixed do? Like if we're going to go with do being C, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Yep. But if you're going to do a minor scale, you start on this is not do.
That's la.
This is la, ti, do, fa. Oh.
That's weird.
But we're doing fixed do, aren't we?
I am,
that's weird.
I've always done movable do.
So now, but I'm talking about the relative minor. Does that go out the window once you're doing a minor scale?
Yes. To me, yes. I mean, movable do, that's still, if you're doing, it doesn't matter if it's the relative minor or not. Whatever the tonic of that scale is, that's going to be do.
So, okay. Oh, so you're coming back to
do, re, mi, fa, sol, ti, whatever.
Really?
Yeah.
Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. That was kind of a modal.
Well, and also there are different, so it would be do, re, mi, fa, sol, si.
I forgot about the C's.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. There's a fa, fi. That's how you do that. I totally forgot about those.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right, which is different than ti-ti-ta, ti-ti-ta.
Yeah, which is the counting rhythmic.
Right. Stop that.
It was so funny. I got to get away with saying TT as a kid. It was crazy.
Get this.
Tita.
These are kind of related. Steal. I'll let you choose one.
Sure.
We can go with steal this lick, which is demonstrate a beloved musical trick that you can share, or a cheat code, an aspect of your playing that you lean on in multiple situations when building a piece of music, improvising, or rescuing a bad musical situation. And you can't say knuckles because we already
went with knuckles. Just cut and paste that into so not being a trained pianist, I've never felt comfortable improvising much anyway. I almost always tell a partner who's never played with me, please don't throw me solos because I'm going to sound like I'm just going to make both of us look bad. I'm like, you take all the solos you want. If you don't want a solo, we'll just skip right over a solo kind of thing. I don't care, but there's different schools of thought in dueling pianos where if a player you play your own solos on your song, you're stealing that away from your partner. Like your partner should be the one who shines during a piano solo. I don't follow that school of thought because I don't shine whenever there's a solo involved. So like, just because of the improv thing, I'm not super comfortable with that. I never have been on the violin either. So that being said, I think that even if it doesn't fully apply, I will end up using 7 chords. That's my trick, to sound like I know a little bit more what I'm doing. 7 chords and 9 chords. That's just really like add that in there, even if it's not in the song.
Yeah.
And that'll fill it out a little bit better, and it makes it sound like I'm like, oh, it's jazz, baby.
It definitely sounds bluesy. I admire you adding the knife though. You commit to that.
Yeah. Depending on, of course, maybe in the context, but yeah, a lot of times. And usually in that context there. Not necessarily
you're
top 9.
Oh, you're just that is pretty.
See what I mean?
That's
which
if
it
you
would be
wanna
the
make it
2
pretty.
of the scale.
I thought you were talking about extending all the way up.
Not you. No. Yeah.
The 2. I would say that's it. You consider that a 9? I guess it is. I guess in chord charts.
In chord charts, it's a 9. I think of it as the 2 of the scale.
Yeah.
But
the sus2 thing.
Yep.
I used to do this thing where I could play. See how many of those I can play with my thumb. You do the.
Yeah. That's when the knuckle comes in handy too. Because if you gotta contort your thumb all weird, you get that middle knuckle in there. You're good, baby.
Put my whole body like gonna pull a muscle.
This is
all right.
also such basic stuff. As a trained violinist, I am really hard on myself about not having better language and not being stronger of a pianist than I am. I mean, because that was my whole life and upbringing and identity growing up as a violinist and being. And I was such a snob about it and all through college and stuff. And then now I feel so rudimentary whenever I talk about anything on the piano.
But all right, but
I'm better than I think I am.
But I don't.
But I'm hard on myself.
See, you're talking about something that I don't even concern myself with anymore. Like
yeah.
I'm now, I guess with meeting, first of all, any dueling piano player partner that I meet, if I don't know the person, I'm just like, hey, whatever you're gonna do is your put your best stuff out there. I'm here to make you look good.
Yeah, and
really
ideally reciprocate.
Yeah.
But
I think there was a version of, like the initial version of dueling pianos in the 90s was probably 2 piano players who came together. I would say it was in the 2000s that it became apparent, like, well, these songs are actually simple enough that people from other disciplines can learn them.
Yeah.
And execute them. And so, like, that became like such a thing in the 2000s. Like, here's a stand-up comedian that is now a dueling piano player. Here's a violinist that is now a dueling piano player. Here's an opera singer who is now a dueling piano player.
Drummer. You know, there's a lot of drummers.
I'm just kind of used to that at this
So
point.
I think in the context that in my mind that I really think about it, I'm super used to that too. Like I don't judge anybody else on any of that kind of thing. And I don't feel like I'm being judged whenever I'm sitting across from somebody. And in that respect anyway. I think it's the talking about it and potential listeners of this podcast that we're doing right now would be like, she's kind of a dum-dum, but I'm like, I'm good at what I do, you know.
But we're talking about entertainment because you and I both know
That's
extremely talented piano players that are not fun to watch.
Yeah.
And that's a problem.
That's true.
Or is it? You know, like I think like my son Tobin loves playing guitar, he loves playing piano, but when it's time to do a recital, he's like, oh, can I just...
Yeah.
Like you can tell like there's an aspect of him that's like, just leave me alone with my guitar. He
doesn't want to necessarily perform, like he'd be in front of the...
But he loves music.
Yeah.
You know, and he's got like a deep connection to it. But I don't know if he's gonna be a guy that's like, I want to be on stage. I feel weird like pressuring him to do it when he already like clearly enjoys music so much. Do I need to come over here from the live performing area and just be like, and now you go do it in front of people? Like,
right.
You don't have to. Nobody has to.
Sure. No, of course not. Of course not.
Like some
that's
people,
not, that doesn't necessarily have to enrich your life. Like that's, I've just always been like a ham.
If you're gonna be on stage, bring it.
Sure.
That's kind of my point.
Yeah,
if you're gonna choose to be on stage and be a professional entertainer on stage, that's another skill set that needs to be activated. A lot of that stuff can't be taught.
Yep.
Honestly,
there's the thing that there's the three basics of in doing dueling pianos. You are a piano player, you're a singer, and you're an entertainer. Two of those three things have to be good to be a successful or effective dueling piano player. To me, I always kind of add to that. Additionally, the entertainer part has to be one of those three. So the other two, it's like you don't have to be a good piano player and a good singer. You can be, but I know some people who are killer on the keys, not the strongest voice. They can sing fine, but they're not like the best singers in the world.
Well, they're functional.
But yeah, functional singer. But they can kill it on the keys and they can draw a crowd in like crazy. For me particularly, I feel a lot stronger with my singing, and I feel like I'm pretty decent. I'm good with the entertainment side, pulling a crowd in. Yeah. Not super confident on the keys, but I can get by. I get the idea across. I tell people I mash buttons for a living, but
88 of them.
Yeah, exactly. Give or take, with my knuckles. But yeah, that's that. I think that because of my sort of idea of perfectionism as a violinist growing up doesn't translate to the actual piano. I think that's where my brain that kind of cuts that off. Where I'm hard on myself about I'm better at playing the piano than I think I am. But yeah.
Well, there's a piece of this we're also missing, which is a general awareness of the energy of the room and being able to. I mean, we're talking about crafting. We're talking about the minute aspects of like crafting a song, which is like 1-4-5, which is a thing. But then let's talk about like, well, what's it like to do that for 3 hours? What's it like to do that for 6 hours? And you're rotating people. Like you're actually. Once you start thinking big picture, I really enjoy working with people that are like, hey, we're thinking about the whole night here.
Yeah.
They have a sense of what the beginning of the night is like. They've got a sense of where they can take people. Like the energy is here, but we have a chance to take these people.
Yeah, it's a roller coaster. DJs have that same, a good DJ.
Yeah.
If you're gonna take people places, and that there's a ebb and flow to the energy that keeps people there and keeps them engaged, keeps them dancing, keeps them singing, drinking, whatever.
Now, and I don't even know it's a counter to that, but you can sit at a Dueling piano bar and you can play Maroon 5 songs and sing them great, and you can play them great all night, and like no one's gonna boo you.
No. But also, people probably won't stay in their seats for 4 hours straight.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like and it's not because they are consciously like this person isn't doing a whole lot. It's kind of a subconscious thing.
It is a subconscious.
They're just kind of like, well, I'm ready to go. But on the other hand, if you've got somebody who's really reading that energy and doing what they can to try to craft the entire show to hold people in and do certain things at certain times, then they don't know why they're staying, but they sure are. Yeah.
That's the best. People like that are impressive.
Yeah.
U.S. Department of Musical Security. If you were in charge of the United States musical scene as a cabinet position, what would be your decree or what would be your first policies?
I would decree that people are allowed to definitely have their specialties and please excel at those, but people are not allowed to be snobs. I'm a recovered music snob.
Define snob.
A recovering music snob.
Who's determining when you've hit snob? But what's the level of like snobbishness?
When I feel like if you discount an entire genre of music or an entire I used to be a classical music snob. I grew up in Amarillo, Texas, where country music is a big thing, but it was not in our house, and so I literally became like a closet country music fan in the 90s when I was going to high school because I was like, this is really fun and I'm really enjoying this. But I didn't tell in my family. And they found out later. They were like, you were like listening to country behind closed doors? They're like, we still love you, right? They're very funny.
Did they put a sign out front that's like...
no country, like the circle. But that's just, I kind of grew up with mentality that there's this higher sort of, echelon that you want to strive to this, and then anything that is, simple pop or rock or country or whatever. If you've got this simple chord progression, that it's somehow lesser than or less impactful or and if people don't understand the classical music that I'm appreciating, or they don't appreciate it the same way I am, that they are undereducated in it, and something like that. That's just kind of the mentality I grew up having. And then once I got to college, that loosened up quite a bit, but then it translated into types of popular music. I became the biggest Radiohead fan of all time, still am. It's my favorite band. But then it's like, but screw Nickelback or whatever. That's we are all familiar with that mentality.
Sure,
screw Nickelback. But then starting Dueling Pianos, I really quickly had to give up that snobbery and feeling like my taste in music was better than somebody else's taste in music, because it's like, hey, listen, this song, no matter how quote unquote simple it may be, that is hitting somebody somewhere. Yeah. There's a reason why it is so popular.
Yes.
Because a lot of people are really into it. And I also started appreciating the production of recorded music.
Yeah.
For that reason. Because you can take a super simple song that in general, I'm like, I feel like I could write that, which I don't consider myself a great music writer. That's why I would say that. But then you put it into the hands of an awesome studio producer, and it is a completely different song, and it is cool and insane in how they can cultivate stuff like that. So I would outlaw music snobbery. You don't have to like every type of music or every song or every genre, but to accept the fact that it's out there and other people do appreciate it, and say, do you like it? Yeah. For example, I hate reggae music. I hate it.
Okay.
It viscerally makes me feel violent.
But this is not a snobbery thing.
This is not a snobbery thing. This is my preference.
You're not looking
I hate hearing it. I hate listening to it. But I recognize that it has its place. And boy, does it have a place. I mean, it's huge. It's a cultural thing, and it affects people on so many different levels. And I get that, and I respect it.
Yeah, there you go.
But also, it can just live over there. I don't need to hear it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's so. I feel like that. However you would put that in a decree, that's the big
outlaw snobbery.
Outlaw snobbery when it comes to music.
I like that. Okay, I'm trying to think about where
That's like that
I don't like the idea
2010s
that
hipster mentality.
But I don't
you
like
know?
the idea there's like Gestapo of like listening in on conversations of people who start to get like, how would you monitor this? You might have to put microphones into coffee shops and record stores.
That seems like it's reasonable. You're $2 snobbery. Stop the snobbery.
No, a van pulls up and people are like, oh, someone's been snobbing in here.
So I smell the snobs.
Sir,
Maybe
you're gonna have to come with us.
less of a law like you're breaking a law, but more of a positive campaign, like things like an anti-smoking campaign,
okay,
or like in general, like don't use the R word, that kind of thing. Like put it out a very heavy-handed campaign of like stop the snobbery.
You can say reggae. We're allowed to say reggae. You don't have to say R word.
Well, you're offending me right now while saying that. So
okay, we'll stick with R word then.
You clearly didn't get the message of the R word campaign because you're just saying reggae over and over and
this
over.
Is different. So you're now this is more of a ground up educational.
Yeah. I think that would be
policy.
That would be more of a role
instead of rooting out the snobs.
Yeah.
And reprogramming.
Yeah. Just kind of enjoy. I'm imagining how general societal campaigns have come out, say, down with certain slurs or, smoking or drinking and driving or whatever, different things that have really big, huge, sweeping campaigns that have impacted our entire society mostly for the better.
Sure.
Ideally for the better. But I would implement something along those lines about musical snobbery.
Yeah. But what if it isn't?
But
it can
hopefully
really be generational, though. I think like in some ways.
Hey, so are slurs. So are racial and ableist slurs.
I'm not saying it's okay. I'm saying like that's where it's like rooted the hardest, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like a generation has their established cultural norms, and then the next generation comes up, and then the current generation goes, what is this?
Yeah.
What do you mean? What are you talking about?
What is this intolerance?
Yeah.
Of reggae.
Okay, and then the last thing we do here is Puppy in the Park, which is one more jam. And you actually got me thinking about something. You got me thinking about my favorite Radiohead song.
Okay.
Which is High and Dry, which is just 3 chords. I've never played them. I got A minor, right?
I think it's in E. Wait.
F sharp minor, A, E. Yeah, I think you're right.
So.
No, you're right. Outro is just something like that, mostly just shit. It's one of my favorites.
Me too. I actually just recently started kind of pulling that song out of my butt. Right?
Yeah?
If there's, on a slow Thursday when there's very few people in the bar and nobody kind of knows it, if the vibe is right, I'm just like, I'm just gonna play this song.
When you see me walk in and it's slow, you're activated on High and Dry.
Hell yeah, I'm in. Let's do it.
Hannah, thank you so much. Cheers.
Cheers.
This was a lot of fun.
Thank you.
Hey, thank you for tuning in to Piano Barbarians. We welcome all of your comments and questions and concerns. Email us here at pbarbs@redbeatentertainment.com. These shows are mostly recorded here in Red Beat Entertainment Studios, Red Beat Studios in North Kansas City, Missouri. If you want to hire some Piano Barbarians for an event or for a group, or you're interested in bringing Piano Barbarians to you, please reach out. We would love to chat about that. We'll see you next time.